If you look at a map of South America, you will notice a country with a very unusual shape. And that country is Chile. Unlike its neighbors, it is neither wide nor square, nor does it have a balanced shape. Instead, it is extremely long and narrow. At first, this might seem like nothing more than an interesting geographical quirk, but there is a deeper story behind it. A story of war, geography, trade, and survival. Because Chile's shape is not only unique, it also brings many challenges, from natural disasters to security concerns. Compared to most countries, Chile has to work much harder. In this discussion, we will look at why Chile has such a strange shape, how this shape causes problems, and how Chile manages to survive despite its unfavorable geography, with an important lesson in it for all of us. Chile's shape was not always like this. Its form is the result of both geography and history. Centuries ago, when the country of Chile did not yet exist, this narrow strip of land was home to different tribes. In the north, there were the Atacameños and the Aymaras, while in the south lived a warrior tribe known as the Mapuche. In the 15th century, the Spanish Empire arrived here in search of gold. Unlike Mexico or Peru, there was no large civilization to conquer, only harsh mountains, dry deserts, and fierce warriors unwilling to surrender. The Spanish struggled to take control of the region. When Chile finally gained independence from Spain in 1818, it was a small country covering only the area around present-day Santiago and Valparaiso. But during the 1800s, Chile expanded rapidly both northward and southward. In the north, it fought Peru and Bolivia during the War of the Pacific. When the war ended, Chile had captured a large territory, while Bolivia lost its entire coastline and became a landlocked country. This was a huge victory for Chile. Not only did it gain valuable natural resources, but its northern border shifted 500 kilometers further up, making the country even longer and narrower. In the south, Chile sought control of Patagonia, which was also claimed by Argentina. Several times the two countries nearly went to war. Finally, under the Boundary Treaty of 1881, Chile was awarded southern Patagonia and the Strait of Magellan. By the early 20th century, Chile stretched 4,200 kilometers from north to south, as long as the continental United States from one end to the other. Now, Chile had become the longest country in the world, but its length brought major problems. The issue wasn't just the distance. Chile is completely boxed in between two natural barriers, the Pacific Ocean on the west and the Andes Mountains on the east. The ocean gives Chile a long coastline, but it also means it cannot expand westward. The Andes form an almost impenetrable wall, with peaks over 6,000 meters high in many places. This geography turns Chile into a narrow corridor, with some parts less than 100 kilometers wide, narrower than many large American cities. Living here means dealing with roads that twist through mountains, railway construction that is nearly impossible, and cities that can only grow north or south. In the north lies the Atacama Desert, the driest desert in the world, where some areas have gone years without a single drop of rain. Yet people still live here, working in copper and lithium mines. In the far south, the environment is completely different. Cold rains, strong winds, glaciers, and snow dominate the landscape. Building roads in the south is almost impossible. In some areas like Aysén and Magallanes, the only way to travel is by boat, plane, or through Argentina. Even today, many Chileans must pass through Argentina to reach their own country's southern regions. This means that to visit parts of Chile, they must first enter another nation. In times of natural disasters, this can delay rescue operations for days. Similarly, if there is a serious accident or a large fire, getting aid to the affected area can be extremely difficult. While Chile's geography makes it beautiful and unique, it also poses severe challenges. Still, the Chilean government has never given up. It has developed clever strategies to overcome its geographical disadvantages. The biggest challenge is keeping the country connected from north to south. Roads, highways, and airports have been built along its length, but the harsh terrain has left many projects unfinished. One of the most notable efforts is the Carretera Austral, also known as Route 7 or the Southern Highway. This project began in the 1970s under military dictator Augusto Pinochet. It was not started purely to connect the north and south, but because the government feared that isolation could spark rebellion. Building the road was extremely difficult. It had to cut through dense forests, treacherous mountains, and wild rivers. Even after more than 40 years, parts of this highway remain incomplete. Even the parts of the Carretera Austral that are completed are very difficult to maintain, as the region frequently experiences floods and earthquakes. And when it comes to earthquakes, Chile is one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world. This is because it lies on the Pacific Ring of Fire, one of the most seismically active zones on the planet. Thousands of earthquakes strike here every year. In 2010, a massive 8.8 magnitude quake hit Concepcion, killing hundreds of people and destroying much of the city's infrastructure. The biggest challenge is that whenever disasters like this occur, carrying out rescue operations becomes extremely difficult. For example, sending ambulances from Santiago's hospitals to distant areas is a major task. And it's not only during disasters that this is a problem. Even in normal times, connectivity is Chile's greatest challenge. Flying from the far north to the far south takes around 5 hours. By road, many people still travel through Argentina to reach southern Chile, simply because there is no other direct route available. This geography also shapes Chile's economy. The country's long, narrow form has led to an uneven population distribution. Most Chileans live in the central region, and you might about 40% of them are concentrated around Santiago. That's like having more than half of all Canadians in Toronto or more than half of all Germans living only in Berlin. Such centralization has its drawbacks. As a result, Chile's best hospitals, universities, roads, airports, and job opportunities are all clustered in and around the capital. But if you head north to cities like Arica or south to Punta Arenas, the picture changes entirely. Jobs are scarce, investment is minimal, and infrastructure is lacking. Chile's trade also faces challenges. The country relies heavily on exports, which account for about 30% of its GDP. It is among the world's top producers of copper, lithium, salmon, and certain fruits. Yet transporting these products across the country is no easy task. Because of its stretched shape, moving goods from one region to another can take days. While Chile does have some of the most advanced seaports in Latin America, getting goods to them is still a challenge. Exporters often have to use a combination of roads, railways, planes, or ships to reach the ports, increasing both time and costs. And even though Chile is now one of the most stable and successful economies in South America, its geography remains a constant obstacle, forcing it to plan more carefully and work harder than many other nations. Chile understands that its shape will never change. The Andes Mountains cannot be flattened, and the Pacific Ocean cannot be moved. That leaves only one option: adaptation. And Chile is embracing it. The government has made major investments in high-speed internet and satellite technology, which is why over 90% of Chileans now have internet access. Remote areas are also being connected through innovations like drone deliveries, solar power, microgrids, and small airports. Chile knows it cannot handle everything alone, so it works closely with neighbors, and especially Argentina, because reaching the southern regions via Argentina is easier than traveling directly through Chile. In the far south, in places like Magallanes and Tierra del Fuego, new boats, bridges, and tunnels are being built to improve connectivity. Chile is also putting strong emphasis on developing its tech industry. Today, it is considered the most technologically advanced country in South America. In 2023, Santiago was ranked among the top startup hubs in the region. Chile is further investing in renewable energy, especially solar and wind power, to make the most of the advantages its geography does provide. The story of Chile offers a clear lesson. Instead of dwelling on our limitations, we should find ways to make the best of what we have. Every country has its strengths and weaknesses. No situation is perfect. Progress comes from improving what is within our reach, rather than wasting time wishing for what is not. See you in the next video with another fascinating topic. Take care.